welcome back, Arbor League, and boy do we have a team for you today. Not going to see much battling, as most of these battles are top lefts. So like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you enjoy this kind of content, and let's take a look at today's very strong team. And the rating we have for today's team only gets a CBBB. However, I think it is still able to deal with most of the meta pretty well. Getting a screenshot of that shitty background during a weather change of the battle screen there. So we got a Skeledirge on the lead that we got to swap into, as whiscash would be the hard counter. So the team is still pretty bulky, especially this rank 1 Lanturn. We're up against a Dragonite here. They're going to go straight body slams here. But we can tank that, and we're just going to go for the harder hitting charge moving. We both are resisted, but they let it go through. So we might actually be able to flip switch here if we get that surf off, and they let us get it off. So if they let it go, we can tank switch here. And as you saw, we are running Powder Snow on the A9 for the grass defense in the back because we're running double water, right? If we run into a grass poison on the lead, then Charm is really no good. And for the threats, pvpoke says that we still have trouble with Annihilate, Buzzwole, and Heracross, right? Because of the counter users doing neutral to A9's part ice typing. But Weather Ball is still neutral. We can spam that out and still have Dazzling Gleam for those fighters. Then for the water leads, you could either full send a Gleam, then swap into whiscash, or you could swap into whiscash right away and hope for realignment with Lanturn later. So we're going to get surfed here. Probably one more Spark's going to take us out. But we've got whiscash with 2 shields that can deal with the rest of the team here. The Skeledirge, not quite out of moves, was pretty dry, so we can tank a surf here. Might shield up one of these surfs. The harder hitting moves are left from the Skeledirge. Plus the Incinerates are resisted, but the Sparks are too. They let that go through. So we got 2 shields. May as well start shielding something, right? So surf's only going to be coming through, and I'm just going to build up a little bit of extra energy here because we're not going to be able to farm it down before taking another surf. So getting this Lanturn out of here just so that we're ahead on energy for the Skeledirge coming back in. And because we outpaced, because we're ahead on energy, I'm just going to bait with the Mud Bomb. I'm pretty sure we could get to 2 Scalds there, but we're still getting a shield regardless. Still need to shield up the Shadow Ball, obviously, and they can't store back-to-back, so they will have to bait us with Disarming Voice. And as that Incinerate comes through, we get to our Scald. So we will be taking this game with whiscash. Get that Skeledirge out of here. Into the next match here, we encounter Azumarill on the lead. So we've got a water lead, and this is how I'm going to deal with it. Swap into that whiscash right away and hope for realignment with Lanturn. So we are going to go for that Scald. I know the Mud Bombs would be hitting for neutral, but we're going to go for that attack drop so that their charge moves do less. We get the attack drop, and the opponent gives us our first surrender. The opponent was probably double weak to whiscash in the back, but we've got a better lead in this next matchup against Superior. Seen coming on the rise because of the water meta, but this is pretty good. We outpaced that Weather Ball, but they catch on a Dugong, which is unfortunate. We should have at least built up to the Dazzling Gleam. However, we're just going to lock our Lanturn on to here. It's a pretty dominating match. We outpace, and they will go straight drill run. There's no point in trying to debuff our attack because we outpace, so we will have to shield up that next drill run. But Lanturn and whiscash do pretty well against handling A9's other weaknesses, right? To fire, steel, rock, and then the fighting matches are pretty neutral, as A9 does well in a lot of neutral situations still. Because that's the thing, is like the whiscash, Gligar, core started coming around, and everyone forgot about A9 for a minute. So we are going to bait here with the surf, trying to get a shield, because if they let it go, we can just throw another surf, but we try to swap, and our switch clock is not up in time. So we will have to let Lanturn go down here to a Frenzy Plant. So we can still come in, build that energy back up, and outpace with Ninetales here. Try to get their shield back from them at least. Is not going to KO because Superior is pretty bulky. On this side, we can take a Frenzy Plant as well. It will be getting us pretty low in return, but I think from this range we can farm down. Yes, we can. Okay, so we leave with a Weather Ball, but we're going to try to swap out as soon as we can, just in case we lose CMP if they have a move coming back in. But the Dugong's going to continue to farm, and will reach that draw run. So we still have that Weather Ball stored here. We will get debuffed with that Icy Wind, but what is in the back? Just a Clodsire. So again, Earthquake not going to KO from this range, and we will be able to outpace to multiple Scalds here, hoping for that attack drop. Not getting it on the first one, and the second one was CMP. So the second Scald will be coming through. And we get the attack drop, so we don't even have to shield this, but I'm going to anyways, just in case, just to preserve some health, because I thought maybe if I farm this down, I still have a Weather Ball, right? I still need a shield, so I'm going to outpace severely to that Mud Bomb. No point in going for that Scald anymore. It's still super effective. Getting the shield and sniping with that A9. So this will be taking out the Clodsire from this range, and I think we still have enough health on the whiscash to farm down. That Dugong's not going to quite make a move. Yeah, they're too low. So we're going to close the game again with whiscash. Again, taking them out, farming them down. Hopping into the next match here, we've got an Electivire. So it's kind of scary, I guess I would say. Flamethrower Electivire sort of core breaks this team, but they swap into the Poliwrath and give us our next surrender. So I guess they are absolutely core broken by Lanturn there. But we've got an Annihilate on the lead, so we can see how this fighter match plays out. The counters are sort of, chunking away. It takes a while to get to that Dazzling Gleam, and we lose CMP. So we're going to shield up a potential Shadow Ball here. That was 8 counters, and we were counting correctly. But we can fire off this neutral Weather Ball, and if the opponent was counting correctly, they won't shield because they know they survived one. But we can outpace to the second one, and this will be getting the Annihilate pretty low. So it's kind of the good side. Here's Weather Ball, pretty spammy, getting it pretty low. Not quite able to farm it down as they swap, but they give up switch. So we're able to lock on Lanturn and get the next surrender. So we get a 5-0 there just from all the surrenders. If you blinked, the matches are gone, and it's that easy. But I've included a couple of real battles here just to get some action going on or some hype going. So on to the next one, we've got a A/slash lead, which is pretty bad for us. So I'm going to safe swap into the Lanturn, and they're on Powder Snow. So it's good for us. I guess all 3 of our Pokemon now beat this, I would assume. His Lantern's still kind of glassy, so we will have to shield the next row run, but they decide to swap into Hakamo. Not good for us. Everything's resisted here. Again, go for the harder hitting charge move. We're going to get farmed all the way down, and they could be coming out with a close combat here, so kind of scary. I still want to save that whiscash. Going to come back in here with the A9, and at least they're on Dragon Tail, so we resist the fast move. Just have to shield up the potential close combat. We can let one of them go, but they actually bait us with a Brick Break, and with the buff, it drops our defense. We're not able to farm down, so we will have to shield a potential close combat here. But Hakamo only going for the Brick Break, probably stuck on Brick Break Dragon Claw, as we are able to fully farm down and come out with a ton of energy here. And for that A/slash, this is going to be resisted, but Dazzling Gleam still does about 40% of Slash's health as they swap into the Gligar, I guess, unassumingly, and lock it onto our whiscash here. So we'll be able to fire off a couple of these Scalds here, not getting the debuff on the first round. We can tank a Dig from here. So I think, yeah, I'm going to let this first one go and hope that we get the attack drops, that the Aerial Ace will do less. We're probably going to outpace here anyways. So next Scald coming through. Do we get the attack drop? They let it go through. And I think we are going to let it go. Yeah, Gligar's done his job. We can farm down with A9. These double super effective Powder Snows, not on Charm, and have a back-to-back Weather Balls for the A/slash here. Yeah, just that's a game plan. Even though it's resisted, will be enough to take out A/slash from this range. So we have 1 for the shield and 1 for the KO, despite it being double resisted. So I think I'm going to be closing this game out with A9. They actually survive on 1 HP in a dream, but it's totally okay as we still have a shield, and they're only going to be able to make 1 Ice Punch and get farmed down. Hopping into our last match here, we see a more positive lead into Whimsicott, and this is why we have Powder Snow for those grass types. They realize this and retreat into a Bubble Jelly. Now I could have gone straight into Lanturn here, but I wanted to full send this Dazzling Gleam just so we can come out of this with either health advantage or shield advantage, which we get. Love to see it. Now we can hard lock them onto Lanturn. There's still a dominating matchup, even more so with Bubble, which we resist. Now, still a dominating matchup with Hex, but we can let this next Shadow Ball go through. as we can tank these resisted bubbles better than the hexes, because if this hex, it was looking a little bad. But we can full send the thunder here. The jelly will opt to let it go through, and we can come out of this with some energy. And because they are not on Razor Leaf or Charm, I think we will be able to get to that Surf, get some chip damage off, albeit resisted. Any kind of damage we can get off is good. So we will go down, and the Whimsicott will come out here. They farmed us down a bit, so they do have a bunch of energy. So we still have 2 shields, and we will be able to fire off that Weather Ball here, but not before they get to a Grass Knot. So may as well start shielding something. They do full send the Grass Knot, and we're encountering a little bit of lag there, but we are able to get to that Weather Ball, fire this off, and hopefully get that last shield from the opponent there. They know that we are weak in the back, but they double shielded, and so will we, because I don't know how low that Grass Knot's going to get us. I don't want to get farmed down. Whiscash does not want to see it, and it is just a Skeledirge in the back. They will outpace us to the move and win CMP because they swapped in first, but Whiscash tanky enough to take the Shadow Ball and fire the Scald off. It doesn't matter if we get the attack drop here, but Scald will not KO. We will have to farm down as the Croc will not make another move. The dead Whiscash in the back surrenders. This team was a ton of fun to run with a ton of surrendering opponents. It did really well for me around the gates of Veteran, so hopefully it does well enough to help you climb as well next time Open Great League is available. If you're enjoying the content, leave a comment and tell me what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. It really helps me out, keeps me in the algorithm, and lets you know when I post, because there will be much more Pokemon Go content to come. But that's all I've got for today, guys. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. I've been ArborAndy. Keep your sticks on the ice, and I'll see you buds in the next one.